Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Big Mike's Off-Road Adventures. Sorry I haven't been posting in a while. I was dealing with the so-called death wobble that everybody has to deal with eventually. If not at all, you're lucky. You got the golden ticket Jeep. But anyways, my Jeep was down. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money, stuff like that. I mean, we live an expensive lifestyle with Jeep, but not everybody is a car expert and they can't afford to take their stuff to the shops. This is why I bought a Jeep, because everything's just a couple bolts. It's pretty much self-diagnostic if you just walk yourself through it and look, and it's pretty simple for someone who's not a car mechanic. But I walked myself through a couple steps. I'll show you what they are, but this is why I haven't been posting, because a lot of places I go to that the Jeep and stuff like that, it's really far away. At 55 I had a shimmy, but if I had to get on the interstate 70 plus mile an hour, I was holding on to the steering wheel for dear life, because it would just vibrate me all over the road. But I went through everything and I found the problem, got it fixed. No more death wobble, thank God. Now we can get back to more adventures. But like I said, you can pretty much diagnose your Jeep in this scenario. Stuff I can walk you through. It worked for JL, JK, any of those. You just walk yourself through the elimination process and you can find your problem. But thank God it wasn't the initial problem that most JLs are having with the steering components. But the first thing I did is I made sure it wasn't an alignment problem, but I could drive down the road straight as an arrow, but the Jeep was vibrating like crazy. So that eliminated in my opinion, the alignment issue right there. Then I know it couldn't have been the toe in and toe out, because I haven't had this Jeep very long. I didn't do any serious wheeling, and I definitely don't adjust that stuff. That's all shop done if I had it done. So it wasn't the toe, because you could look at the tires in the front and they weren't towed in, they weren't towed out, they were pretty straight just by an eyeball glance. But then another thing that you could do is then you could check your wheel bearings and stuff like that. You could jack it up and then shake this back and forth, and if you have any play, then you know that's the problem. But I didn't have no play. Sometimes I like to come around and just give it a good kick and listen for it. Also, if it was a wheel bearing, you can usually hear it when you're driving. It'd just be thump, 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 thump. But that's a different story. And the next thing you want to do is you can get in here and look, hop up underneath, jack it up, whatever you got to do. You have somebody go inside, turn the key to accessory, and then shake the steering wheel back and forth just a little bit, and just look and see if any of this stuff has any extra play. Come down here and feel, try and push it around. If nothing's moving around, check both sides just to make sure. And then you can take the old pry bar, and this is what I did. You just stick it in anywhere you can fit it, and you push anywhere you can just find it. Just make sure nothing's loose, ain't got no play. Sorry, the camera unfocused a little bit, but I did all that. I walked myself through the process, checked to make sure everything had all the nuts and bolts that it was supposed to have. There was no wear and tear, there was no huge holes in anything. And then I was thinking to myself, you know, something that gives a car a shimmy, bad tire, a knot, something. I didn't have no knots, and my tires had great tread on them. I mean, two of them were basically brand new for a couple months, and the other ones were newer than that, just about a month or two. And I was like, maybe some weights fell off. I've had shit boxes in the past that would vibrate because there was no weights on the tires, because they got vibrated off, or I didn't pay to have them put on by a shop to balance them. I just mounted them myself and put them on. So I took it to a shop, had them rebalance them, or try to rebalance them. The two were fantastic. There was no problem, none at all. Then they got to the other two, and then it ended up being, well, they couldn't be balanced. And the shop was like looking at it and stuff like that. They told me that the material inside the tire had come separated. And I'm like, well, that makes sense, because I work in a factory. That's what I do for a living. I work in an additive factory. Well, we make additives for everything, for rubber factories, tire factories, whatever. We take a raw product, we make a product for them. What they do is they buy our product, mix it with other products that they have, like their rubber and stuff, and it goes into making their tires or their dashes or whatever they're making. We make stuff for everything from regular stuff to food. And I know we make stuff for tire companies as well. Well, if someone makes a product that's an additive and they don't clean, say they come from say they made a different product before the product that they made for this tire. Say they made a product that was completely different for, say, a cup company or something like that, and they don't clean it completely. You're allowed 10% contamination in a product without it causing any effect. Well, if they don't clean their stuff completely before they make this next product, then you just contaminated a whole batch of product, and then it goes into making these tires, and then the product can fail. And that's what I assume happened here. I'm not 100% correct on that. I'm just saying what I think is wrong with it. That's how I figured it out. Like, I think it makes more sense that way. But then again, it could also just been a general like mishap in the product. Maybe the wires inside the tire came apart or something like that, and it caused the material to separate. But these tires are still good. There's one difference in it. You can tell the difference in them, and it tells you where your shimme's coming from. But other than that, like, these tires could be still off-roading, but I just wouldn't drive them on the road because I wouldn't want to deal with that shimmy all day. But I'll show you the thing that's going on here, like how you can tell after they take them off, like if it was real bad. Because honest to God, you couldn't tell by looking at them, but you can tell by actually feeling it or watching it on the mountain tire, like the tire balancer, because you can watch it like wobble from side to side when they're trying to balance it. But at first glance, you couldn't tell. So I'll show you like the difference here. Well, you can't really see it in the camera, but I'll explain it. These right here are the two good ones. On the inside, you can rub your hand all the way around it, and it'll be smooth all the way around. Like, there won't be like no like indentions or nothing. And then these ones over here, the top two were the bad ones. And on the inside, you can rub all the way around it, and you'll start to feel like little humps. Like right here's a hump. You can't see it in the camera probably, but it actually comes in a little bit, and the other one doesn't do that. Yeah, that's kind of upsetting to find out, because that's just, to me, it was a waste, because I daily drive my Jeep. It's my get-to vehicle. Like, I go point A to point B everywhere in it. I off-road in it. I go to work in it. That's my vehicle to get around. I live a lifestyle a lot of people don't do. A lot of people have one vehicle for strictly off-roading, and then they have their get-to vehicle, but mine's for everything. I love Jeep, and that's how I like to get around. But it kind of hurt me with this, because that's $400 a piece of tires right there. That's a lot of money just to like take off when I'm still having such a good life and haven't had it on there very long. But you know what they say, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I didn't like that brand. I don't like General Grabbers, but it is what it is. Now I got a brand that I really like. I really love the brand Falcon. It's a great brand. I'm not endorsed by them by any means. I'm a low-level guy, but Falcon's all I love to run. Such a great brand. It's good for off-roading. They also have tires that are meant just for anything, and they just last forever, in my opinion. Every time I get a set, they last me 2 years or a little more, and they just do phenomenal. Snow, mud, rain, whatever. That's my brand I go to. I'll show you the tire. This is what it looks like. I ended up getting the Wild Peak RTs. These are a says 3-ply right there, but according to the shop I got them from, they're a 10-ply tire. 35, 1250, 17s. Got some pretty decent tread. These are the all-terrains. I've had the mud trains. Mud trains are fantastic, but if it rains, you'll break traction every time. And my wife drives my vehicle, and I don't need her spinning out of control. But it's a good day to find this stuff out and get it fixed. I can give you guys more videos, more content to watch. But if this helps any of you guys out, let me know in the comments. I know not a lot of us have money to go to the shops to find this stuff out. But until next time, you guys take it easy.